You're listening to the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
Number to call up as always is 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. By this time, you notice I didn't say 250 plus markets across the United States of America because I don't think I need to. Millions of people are listening to me every day. They know by now I'm all over the country. I'm nationwide, baby. Number to call up again, as always, is 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. With GNC Auto Deliver and Save, don't worry about missing a daily dose of your favorite products. Set up your free subscription and enjoy free shipping and 10% off the offer. Quality shipped, wellness delivered. Visit GNC.com or a store near you to learn more. Time for Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Best phones, best networks, no contracts. Lots of stuff to get into today. I got a bone to pick with Tom Brady. I'll explain why. I got a bone to pick with Phil Mickelson. I'll explain why. I got concerns about the Los Angeles Lakers. I'll get into that in a minute. But my big beef right now. Oh, by the way, I got a bone to pick with Ben Roethlisberger, too. But I'll get to that a little bit later as well. My bone for the moment. My bone to pick for the moment. The thing that I've got a zest to address as quickly as possible is some residue from Friday's story when it was announced that Kawhi Leonard has told the San Antonio Spurs that he wants out and he wants to be traded or he wants to be with the Los Angeles Lakers. He wants out. He wants to be traded. That's what he said. The other news came that he wants to go to the Los Angeles Lakers. He didn't say that publicly. We've all known about it for a couple of years now. It's nothing new to anybody. Nothing new. Everybody and their grandmother knew that Kawhi Leonard wanted to be in L.A. He's from L.A. And the thing that bothers me right now, listen, this stuff about his quad injury and how maybe it was misdiagnosed or mistreated by the San Antonio Spurs. And as a result, he's upset and all of this stuff. Stop it. Just stop it. All of you. You sound like damn fools. Stop. That's not what this is about. This shouldn't be about impugning the integrity of the San Antonio Spurs. This shouldn't be about talking about Greg Popovich and what he didn't do, or the players talking about how unsupportive they were or non-supportive they were. This ain't about any of that. This is about Kawhi Leonard wanting to be in Tinseltown. This is about Kawhi Leonard wanting to be in L.A. That's what this is about. And for those of you outside of San Antonio, and damn it, some of you inside of San Antonio, looking at the Riverwalk every day, don't act like you don't know. Now, I ain't gonna go Charles Barkley route and start talking about women in San Antonio. That's his thing. And quite frankly, I think all of y'all are lovely, by the way. Nothing to do with that. Totally irrelevant. It's the sunshine. It's the palm trees. It's the West Coast, man. It's the flavor of L.A. That's what it is. Rodeo Drive ain't in San Antonio on the Riverwalk. Melrose Place ain't in San Antonio on the Riverwalk. Venice Beach ain't on the Riverwalk. Palisades Parkway ain't near the Riverwalk. LA Live ain't on the Riverwalk. Let's stop the nonsense here. Let's understand what this is about. I mean, Cat, get my music ready. I mean, these people don't understand. Kick my music, please. I love L.A. We love it. That's right. Y'all don't understand. Keep this music playing, Cat, because I'm going to talk over this music. People don't understand. You don't understand what this is about. This is a native New Yorker talking to you. From the bright lights and big city of Broadway. From the city that never sleeps. From Broadway to Times Square and everything in between. The boroughs, Queens, the Bronx, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Staten Island. I ain't even bringing the equation Long Island. I didn't bring it to the equation North Jersey. You don't understand. This native New Yorker talking to you. Loving New York all my life. Even I can't deny special LA is. Who can sit up there? Frank Sinatra talked about New York, but this is about LA. This ain't about anything else. That's why Kawhi Leonard wants to leave. You better recognize and stop acting like you don't know. I'm trying to tell y'all. No more of this nonsense about the Spurs organization. No more of this vitriol about how they mishandle things. No more questions about the character of Kawhi Leonard and how the players wonder about him and how hurt he was or whatever. We love it. It's LA. That's what we're talking about here. Let's stop it. Let's stop it right now. I'm so sick of the hypocrisy. What has happened to us? My God. We have no courage anymore. None. We have lost our ever-loving minds. Kawhi Leonard is a native of L.A. who has established himself as one of the top 3 or 4 players in the world. He is a champion and an NBA Finals MVP. And he is supposed to apologize for wanting to go home, especially when home is L.A.? What the hell is the matter with you people? What is the matter with y'all? He has every right to want to go to L.A. I don't blame him. I remember when I was on the air years ago, and I was celebrating because L.A. beat San Antonio because I wanted to be in L.A. instead on the Riverwalk. By the way, San Antonio is a lovely city, and it's got a beautiful mall. It's got some nice restaurants. It's got a lot of things. And there's no state income tax there in San Antonio because in the state of Texas, there's no state income tax. I get it, but it ain't L.A. And the sad part is Kawhi can't just come out and say it. His handlers can't just come out and say it. People are reporting on a story looking for some angle. LA's the angle. LA is the angle. I got to tell y'all something right now. If it wasn't for my family situation, I'd have been out in LA already. And by the way, if I'm out in LA, particularly as a W-2 employee, I'm paying about 52% in taxes. And I'd still go to LA. That's how beautiful it is. It's a beautiful life. It's a beautiful life. Why you think LeBron think about going out there? Why you think his peeps already have homes out there? I ain't talking about just the wife and the family. I'm talking about his boys, his crew. They ain't living in Cleveland. They got homes in Cleveland, but they ain't living in Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? It's just different. It's just different. And when you get older and you're a bit more accomplished and you're a bit more successful, you think about your quality of life. And quality of life is usually dictated by weather and ambiance. Where your people grow up. Huh? When is it going to stop? When is it going to stop? By the way, congrats to our new president, Jimmy Pitaro. Fabulous guy, he seems to be. He really does. But talk about dedication. I mean, this man's moving to Connecticut from L.A. I mean, it's special. I mean, this man is dedicated. This man is committed. He's dedicated. Okay? You got to be dedicated to move from L.A. to Connecticut. Let's just call it what it is. And that's props to any executive that got it going on like that. You're an executive and you living in California, but you want to spend significant chunks of time in Connecticut. God bless you. Because it ain't me. I do what I have to do, but it damn sure ain't what I want to do in terms of locale. Let's just be real. Kawhi Leonard has earned this. And the reason why I'm going off about it is because I got a real problem with suddenly a first-class organization like the San Antonio Spurs, renowned for their championships and their culture, suddenly is in an eye of the storm with people questioning their organizational integrity. I will not do that to Greg Popovich. I will not do that to R.C. Buford. I will not do that to the great owner Peter Holt and the organization under his purview. I will not do that to them. I will show them the respect and deference they deserve by simply saying, Kawhi would rather be in San Antonio. This ain't about the organization. This is about him wanting to leave. Why is it so hard to believe? Why? I don't see the problem. And neither should any of you. 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. You're listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio. My condolences to the New York Knicks. They're not a part of this conversation. Kawhi ain't coming there. LeBron ain't coming there, maybe for dinner with David Fizdale, but that's about it. I mean, you can refer to the right restaurant, but that's about all you gonna get. He ain't even paying for dinner. So you got that going on. Paul George, from what I'm told, let me just drop some information on y'all, so break it down to you this way. According to my sources, several things are happening. A, Chris Paul is telling folks LeBron ain't trying to come to Houston. He want to be in L.A. These are things I'm getting through the grapevine. Chris Paul is saying LeBron want to be in L.A. Point number 2, folks are not so sure Paul George is coming to L.A. From what I'm being told, Sam Presti and Oklahoma City Thunder are going to back up the Brink truck for Paul George. They're going to offer him the max. Because they're going to offer him the max, combined with the fact that Russell Westbrook shows him a lot of love, and they seem to get along pretty well, and they've got a future together, Paul George is a sentimental type. And as a result, it's going to be hard for him to pull away from that and that relationship with Russell Westbrook. Here's the problem. The wife would rather be in L.A. Paul George's parents, from what I'm told, would rather him be in L.A. He's from Palmdale. They would rather him be in L.A. So the family pressure is pushing him towards L.A. Peer pressure is keeping him in OKC. And that combined with the money, because he stands to make so much more money by staying in OKC rather than going to L.A., it could be problematic for Magic Johnson. Why is that problematic? Because we don't know if the cart's going to be wheeled before the horse. What do I mean by that, ladies and gentlemen? Here's what I mean. LeBron could decide to come to L.A., or he could wait to see what L.A. is going to get to bring to L.A. with him. What Magic Johnson and the Lakers are going to get to bring with him. If LeBron comes first, then that's one thing. If he wants to wait, then getting Paul George is more important. Because that ultimately might influence luring LeBron, even though that's not what I'm hearing it will take. It's all about what you believe. Do you believe LeBron's going to come first, or do you believe he's going to stand and wait to see what LA's going to do before he decides to come or not? So you got that going on. Now to Kawhi Leonard, back to Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard has to be traded. Do you really, really believe that San Antonio is going to be anxious to do business with the Los Angeles Lakers? Do you really believe that San Antonio wants to put Kawhi Leonard in L.A. with a LeBron, or with LeBron and Paul George, and create a Lakers dynasty at their own expense? Do you really think the San Antonio Spurs want to do that? Of course they don't. Now, Kawhi Leonard does have a little bit of leverage. What's that little bit of leverage? He is approaching the last year of his contract. So because he's approaching the last year of his deal, and word has already leaked out that he wants to be in L.A., it basically alienates other suitors, puts L.A. in play as the major player in all of this, somewhat forcing San Antonio's hands. But San Antonio could always elect to wait. And they could always either find a sucker that's going to give them everything for a guy that's going to leave that team in a year for L.A., or they might run into an executive like a Danny Ainge or somebody that says, well, I could do more with Kawhi than you might be able to do with him. So let me have him, and then I could work out possibly a sign and trade next summer for him. Either way you slice it, it's not a foregone conclusion that Kawhi Leonard is going to end up in L.A. for the 2018-2019 season. 2019-2020, more likely. But here's the thing. If you're the Lakers, you might have about 68 to 70 million in cap space. But what if you utilize all of that on LeBron and Paul George? What do you have to offer Kawhi? It has to be a sign and trade. And if it's a sign and trade, what are you offering? The likelihood is that if you're the Lakers, you're going to have to give up Lonzo Ball, no problem for me. You're going to have to give up Kyle Kuzma, who's a big problem. I don't want Kyle Kuzma going from the Los Angeles Lakers. I don't want that to happen. If you're a Knicks fan and you're wondering why I'm not talking about you, it's because you're relevant right now. I mean, Trae Young, Sexton out of Alabama, Michael Porter Jr. if he falls to you. With his bloviating, I'm the second coming of Kevin Durant self, even though he's injury prone. I mean, that's it for the Knicks. Knicks is next summer. Klay Thompson, Jimmy Butler, Kyrie Irving. That's the Knicks. We talking about the Knicks next summer like we talking about the Lakers right now. You Houston, you got a problem. Here's your problem if you're Houston. As good as you are, and you are good, as much of a championship contender that you are, and you are, because if you beaten Golden State, you would have certainly waxed Cleveland in the finals. The reality is that if LeBron with anybody goes to L.A., that gives Houston a run for its money. Which means Houston's one shot at a championship may have just passed them by. We also got to take into account and entertain the unlikely possibility. I say highly unlikely. I can't imagine this would happen because Houston got Chris Paul to come there. They're going to take care of him. They want him. But what if a miracle happened and CP3 decided to go back to L.A., but this time in the purple and gold with LeBron? Now, I'm obligated, ladies and gentlemen, as a professional, to bring up the Los Angeles Clippers. I consider them to be irrelevant in this equation. Despite the greatness of Doc Rivers, who I love dearly, the greatness of the basketball savant himself, Jerry West, who I profoundly respect and got a lot of affection for, by the way. I've come to know him. I genuinely like Jerry. And if anybody could pull it off, he can. I do find it a bit difficult to believe that any of these marquee dudes are going to the Clippers. That would shock me. It's not impossible. Particularly when you got a billionaire the likes of Steve Ballmer, who's still depressed over losing CP3, by the way. Man hasn't been to say. I don't know if I've seen Steve Ballmer with, I'm not talking about that George Foreman smile that he puts forth for all of us. I'm talking about that authentic, genuine smile. I haven't seen that on Steve Ballmer's face since Chris Paul left. Haven't seen it. But I will tell you this. Can't see the Clippers being a part of this mix. Matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised at all. One of the untold stories in all of this, everybody's talking about Clint Capella, and Clint Capella ultimately getting the max, from a max offer from Phoenix. As a result, what is Houston going to do? Well, if Houston's smart, what you'll do is you'll make sure you give him what you can. You'll get a hometown discount to some degree because you're in the championship contender and Phoenix is Phoenix. Plus, what you're about to draft DeAndre Ayton. He and Booker are going to be the focal point. So Clint Capella going to Phoenix, that would just be for the money. That ain't going to make you happy. Stay in Houston. But if you're Houston, do you want him to stay? Or do you want him to leave so DeAndre Jordan can come? Remember, he wanted to leave the Clippers. He wants to go back to Texas. That's where he went to college. Not Texas, but I think it's Texas Tech, Texas. Oh, where the hell he is. I'll look it up. He's DeAndre Jordan. What the hell you want me to do? I'm not going to have it off the tip of my tongue. But DeAndre Jordan is a Skywalker. He's good for about 3 dunks a game. He's a Skywalker. Not to mention the fact that he runs the floor effectively, even though I think he's put on a little bit of weight. Plus, he's a defensive presence as well, blocking shots and rebounding. I like DeAndre Jordan. And playing with CP3 wouldn't be unfamiliar to him. These are also things we have to pay attention to. So it's getting very, very interesting. It's getting very interesting. No question about it. It's interesting in Houston. It's interesting in San Antonio. It's damn sure interesting in L.A. Philadelphia could be on the outside looking in. That's not a good thing. It's not a good thing, especially with Boston on the come up. And Boston is in the most enviable position of them all because they can make a move for the Kawhi Leonards of the world, or they could stand pat and not do a damn thing and still be a top 2 title contender coming out of the Eastern Conference. This is what's going on with the Boston Celtics. Things are getting very, very interesting. Very interesting. Got a lot to discuss. What are your thoughts about Kawhi wanting out? What are your thoughts about him wanting to come to L.A.? What are your thoughts about the possibility of him landing in L.A.? And how much pressure is Magic Johnson on this summer? Is there anyone under more pressure than the Magic Man himself? Magic Johnson, if you are listening, and I know you are, my brother, please know this. Ain't a bigger fan of Magic Johnson than me. Nobody's rooting for you more than me. But I will confess, it's definitely for selfish purposes. After all, the more relevant L.A. is, the more compelled I am to be in L.A. Not bad. Not bad at all. Straight Talk Wireless, nationwide coverage on America's largest and most dependable 4G LTE networks. By the way, guys, it's time to get up off the couch. Seriously, get out to a game, a show, something. I know that the first half of the baseball season has consumed your life for weeks now, but have you looked outside your window yet? It's time to stop watching the games and start going to them with Vivid Seats. From front row to upper deck, Vivid Seats has options to fit your needs. So grab your friends, pick a game or a show from the official ticket partner of ESPN. Just go to vividseats.com/ESPN today for an exclusive discount offer.
Craving even more of Stephen A?
Him of all people.
For around-the-clock access to the man?
I'm Stephen A.
You can follow him on Twitter and Instagram at Stephen A. Smith and on Facebook at Stephen A.